I could fucking be missing a leg.
Dude, my parents didn't give a fuck. I think I can count on one hand all the times I missed school. My mom, she like, you're going to school. I don't give a fuck. She just sucked ass.
I think I only missed school once that was not sports related in my life. Hmm.
Yeah, I've missed like two or three times. What's up, Henry? You in Fast and Furious. I'm just sharing it out on X. And somebody didn't do any fucking promotion on it.
I've been at work.
I've been at work too. I'll tell you all about it in a bit. So I saw something kind of pissed me off, dude.
That's that.
In regards to well, I guess I didn't. It's not that I saw it, but I came into the realization of it. Um, it's so the state of play, which we're going to talk about a little bit today, and sorry, I can't multitask, bro. What's up, RPG? We got the two main guys here, and that's all we need. Uh, what was I talking about? Oh, state of play. So the Horizon game got pulled from the store. It's back in now at $40. So if you're brand new, you pay 40 and then $10 for the upgrade path, which puts you at 50. Well, guess what? The fucking price of the game is 50. That rubs me the wrong way, especially with how low of a price it's been for the last fucking 2 years. And it's been like at $20 on average for 2-3 years. Another reason why physical is the way to go. But either way, we'll talk a little bit about that. But what up, gentlemen? See, we got Henry, we got
I would have done the same
RPG.
thing. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, well,
Otherwise,
you're a fucking pony.
no, I mean as a
No,
business,
you're a
like
pony.
why would I
You're a
make it
pony.
if they're just gonna buy the other?
You're a
Why would I
pony.
even create it?
Well, why would you raise the fucking price when they're coming out with a new one? The price should be going lower.
Because they can buy the old one and then just upgrade for
Oh,
$10.
who fucking cares? This was the wrong game to fucking remake any fucking ways. Let's get
Remaster.
physical. Remaster, yes, I'm sorry.
Everyone's gonna bitch about this $10 upgrade shit.
No, they're not.
And then fucking we're gonna be bitching about this and that, and then they're gonna be like Nintendo will be like, fuck it, it's just full price again.
Fuck Nintendo. They might be our saving grace here soon, any fucking ways.
Fuck, I've bought in full games that I have on PS4 that are PS5 version full fucking price.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Everyone
Fuck.
bitches about it.
I'm
Fuck,
fucking
nobody
bitching
else is
about
doing
it. Fuck you, me. I've been complaining, dude. Ah, fuck. I'm just gonna wait a few minutes to see if more guys pop in. Otherwise, they'll catch it on the fucking replay. Like I said on my video making the announcement for this podcast, Nelson and I are not here to fucking get monetized, to get our titties fucking licked by PlayStation or another fucking YouTuber. We're here because we like gaming, and that's what we're gonna do. So we don't give a fuck about how many people watch us. Of course, we want people to watch us as many as possible, and we want you guys to be part of this whole deal that we're doing. I want to do something different. I want to do something unique, and you know what? Let's start off with that. Fuck you. If you're not here, you're too fucking late. Watch the replay. First off, I want to say thank you to you guys that are here today with me and Nelson. Welcome to the State of Game podcast, and I am Will. You guys know me as Will 777 JP, and I also have On the other line, Nelson Gaming Culture. Nelson, you haven't said hi to Henry, you haven't said hi to RPG, and you haven't said hi to me.
Henry. Hi, RPG. I'm cranky, alright? My fucking kids have been driving me nuts.
I'm fucking cranky. So
I am too. Plus, after reading Sony's financial shit, I'm realizing I'm gonna be a retro gamer in the next few years, so.
I'm thankful I got my PS3 when I got it, because the prices are going up. What is it? Today's price is not tomorrow's price. But real quick, guys, I kind of want to give you a little bit of, since this is our very first podcast on the channel, I kind of want to give you a quick little introduction to it, kind of tell you what we're all about. The guys that are here right now know exactly what we're about, but I just want to kind of explain a little bit. The best way I can explain it is, fuck you. That's the best way I can explain the podcast. And what I mean by that is, Nelson and I wanted to do something that is raw and uncut. None of this fucking watch your language. None of this fucking, we're going to get censored. Fuck that shit. We're going to say exactly how the fuck we feel like saying, how we want to say it, and we're going to talk about whatever the fuck we want to say it. And if you don't like it, hate to see you leave, but I understand, because you're a pussy. Everybody else, thank you so much. Don't take us serious. We're here to have fun, and we are depending on you to make this podcast successful. I said this on my announcement video. We're not here to be prima donnas about this fucking podcast shit. We want to have fun with the community. We want to talk games and bullshit. So if anybody here wants to hop on and come on an episode with us, please shoot Nelson and I a DM. Hit us up on X. Hit us up on the Discord. On here on YouTube. Leave a comment. And we'll see when we can get you in. It's that fucking simple. Next week, we're going to have RPG on the podcast next Sunday. And I'm also talked to Tornado Screw today. He wants to hop on. He's like 7 hours difference.
It would be the Monday morning. He'd have to get up early.
Yeah, I know. So I told Tornado is this 8 o'clock that we have right now is not set in stone. We're only doing it because of your work schedule right now. But if we got to move the shit sooner or later or a different fucking day.
I'm not working Sunday, and I'm getting cut off for overtime in a couple weeks. So
we'll switch it around. The point is I'm less interested in keeping the podcast at a certain time every fucking week. I am more interested in getting people the opportunity to fucking talk. And guess what? We have friends across the world. So if they're not available at 8 o'clock, then we'll switch shit up so the podcast can become available to them. We don't want to like, oh, hit me up when you're on vacation. No, fuck that. If you want to come on and me and Nelson are available on a fucking Tuesday morning, then that's what the fuck we'll do. Or a Monday afternoon or a Friday night, whatever the fuck. We don't give a shit. We just want to talk to you guys. So I hope that kind of introduces the podcast a little bit. We don't give a fuck. We're here to talk about gaming. We're here to talk about whatever the fuck we want. Nothing planned, nothing scheduled. We don't have no metrics to hit. I don't have a fucking number on the top of my screen like so many YouTubers have. Like, hey, drop a bomb. As a matter of fact, let's drop some bombs today, guys. We got to hit 10 million fucking subscribers.
We got to hit our goals. We're not hitting our goals. I know you can do better.
Facts. So that getting out the way, thank you for coming in. Nelson is a little under the weather today. He's being a pussy, but he still made it, so I give him credit.
Don't fuck with me, I'm crabby.
Don't fuck with him, he's crabby. I make him that way. Dude, you made me that way when we were playing fucking, what's the game? Space Marine. Huh, do you want a fucking medikit? I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, I want one. You've been fucking taking them all up since we started playing. I
was full. That's the only reason I asked. Otherwise, I would have grabbed that bitch.
See, when I play with Henry, which shout out to Henry, mine and his podcast start on Tuesday. It's going to be a co-op gameplay podcast. When me and Henry play Space Marine, Henry's like, hey, bro, here's a medical kit or a stim. You want it? Yes, thank you. I come up one. Hey, bro, you need a stim? Yeah, cool. No? Okay, cool. And we keep it like that all fucking game. Never am I out of health. Never is Henry out of health. You? Fuck.
I'm never out of health.
I feel like the younger brother, and I'm like the younger sibling out of five, and there's only fucking three pieces of fucking pizza left. That's what it feels like when I play with you.
I'm never out of health.
Yeah, I know you're never out of health. Fuck. But
Stocked up
anyways,
to the max.
well, speaking of medical kits, something that I wanted to ask you because I've been watching some people, and actually, you know what? Fuck that. I want to talk to you. How do you feel besides the evidence, or not the evidence, but the evidence? What is it? Relief that you got with securing your PS5 Pro, mainly because of your kids, right? Fighting over the system.
Well, I always want to upgrade. I don't play on handhelds and shit like that. 98% of my game, I don't play phone bullshit or nothing. 98% of my game time is on PlayStation, so I want the best experience. If it was there was a Super Pro for 900, I would have got that one. But I've been waiting to get a second PS5 because my kids were like, "Oh, we want one so we can play one when you're playing," or "We can't play this game or that game or whatever." Well, I'm like, "Too bad, bitch. You're waiting for a Pro." So they've been waiting 2 years.
Oh shit! I would hate for you to be my dad. I run away.
They got a
I'll
PS4, which is the problem right now because they're fuck. I got 10,000 games in my house that they can play, but they're fucking having tables, ladders, and chairs match and killing each other over who gets to play fucking Astrobot every goddamn day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, if I
How
was
many
your
games I
kid,
have?
I'll wait till you fall asleep, go in the garage, steal a catalytic converter off your car, sell that bitch, and go buy a PS5 my damn self. That's what I would do if I was your fucking kid 2 years ago.
Oh, well, too bad.
Bro, catalytic converters are expensive as fuck. True
You know
story.
what? My PS2, you know how I got that? I asked if I could, my parents if I could get it for my birthday. They're like, "I'm not spending that. You better fucking earn it, bitch."
Bro, I
And that's what I
sold
did.
for my PS2. That's 'cause I switched from Nintendo 64 to PS2. I didn't get the GameCube. I never had a Sega. I never had a PS1. None of that shit. It wasn't until the PS2 where I outgrew the Nintendo. I was like, man, I want more mature games. And Grand Theft Auto 3 is gonna be on there. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. So I made this big ass spiel to my fucking mom in the living room with all the family. Well, my family, like my dad, my mom, my sister. I was like, guys, I went up there like super professional, like mom, mother, father, sibling, can we please gather in the living room and can you spare 5 minutes of your time? And I went to this fucking spiel about the PS2 and how it's not just for me, it's for everybody
I
because you
tried
have
that too. My
DVD.
dad told me to get a job.
Yeah, my dad told me to fuck
But,
off after like
but he
two
made
minutes.
sure when he told me he made sure when I bought it though that he fucking got to use it for his DVDs.
Oh, fuck
Correct.
yeah. Same thing. Yeah, no, my parents, at least they listened to me for like 2 minutes
You
and then
made
they
me
told me
pay
to
my
fuck
own
off.
shit, but then you gotta fucking borrow my shit all the time. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, that's a fact, Henry. PS2 was for everyone. I mean, fuck, even my sister, who's not a gamer, she still played fucking Vice City when I would be gone. I mean, I didn't find out about this till I was like 30, but she told me. But yeah, dude, it was such a great console because it was for everybody, and you had the DVD option. You can play CDs, you can play PS1 games, PS2 games. You can hook up to the fucking internet with that thing. It reminded me. Remember the Sega Dreamcast? It actually had an email fucking what do you call this? You can check your email and shit on there.
Mm-hmm.
So that
It,
shit
it was the
was
first online networking. Second console to ever have online access at all. Saturn was the first.
yeah, like that shit was super technologically advanced, man. Back in, I mean, especially back in the late '90s, early 2000s. Man, that shit was so cool. I
I
don't
know
think.
everyone talked shit about the PS3 and how much it cost, and it was a bad time because the economy sucked and everyone was fucking broke. But for $500, a fucking Blu-ray player, because I love movies, that was $1,000 alone. Fucking play PS1, 2, fucking.
The whole thing.
It had built-in Wi-Fi too, so if I would have bought an
Yeah.
Xbox, I would have had to go out and buy an HDD player for 200, and then a Wi-Fi for another 100. So I would have been at 700.
Well, back then, I remember DVD players were expensive. They were like $400-$500, $600. They
Yeah, it
were
was about the
super.
same price as the PS2, and then a Blu-ray player when the PS3 came out was $1,000.
Well, I remember the PS1 being $299. Do you remember what the PS2 retails for? Was it $299 or
Yep,
$399?
yep, 299.
Like that's a fucking steal, dude.
I know.
Uh,
That was the cheapest DVD price. So
yeah, yeah. And I always say with the PS3, that console. I mean, I've always loved the console. I loved everything about it, from how it looks to what it came with. The problems with the PS3 was more internal, right? Industry wise. Oh, it's hard to develop for, it's too expensive. But damn, I forget his name. The dude who actually said, "All right, Nintendo, you want to fucking backstab us on this fucking deal? Now we're gonna create this fucking PS1." I forget his name. The Godfather himself. Dude was a fucking
Ken
visionary.
Kutaragi.
Ken Kutarami. He was a fucking genius, bro. I mean, just the concept for the PS1, PS2, PS3, the way he went on about it,
Yeah,
especially.
you know how hard he fought to get that DVD player into that PS2.
Oh, dude, he almost got fired like 5 times.
I know he wouldn't stop. He was a real fucking menace. Like he really insisted that like it's gonna push our fucking prices up too high. We're not gonna be able to do it. We're not gonna be able to do it. And he fucking was like, we're doing it.
What year was it the PS2 came out? 19 or 2001?
2000.
2000. That was the smartest thing they could have done for that PS2. I mean, the PS2 was great in itself. By then, third-party developers were all over Sony's dick, especially
Yeah,
with
they
how
owned everything.
they owned everything. And then the Sega, what is it? The Sega not the Genesis. What
The
came before
Dreamcast,
before the
Saturn,
Dreamcast?
that took a shit.
What came before the
The
Dreamcast?
Saturn.
The Saturn. By the time the Saturn came around, developers were basically done with
2D.
with 2D, and they were done with Sega. They were like, "Fuck this. We're not gonna make games for this shit anymore." So by the time the PS1, PS2 came around, they owned the third party market. So if you look back at all the greatest hits for the PS2, most of them are third party games.
You
So
know,
it's just
the Saturn 2 was built to be 2D, but when they found out Sony was making a 3D machine, they put a new chip in there and stuff like that, and they did this in like 6 months' time to be able to release it at the same time as them. But doing that, they basically fucking taped it up and fucking threw it out there. You know what I mean? And because they used dual chips and shit like that, it costed them a lot more manufacturing. So they came out $100 more and underpowered.
Sheesh. I would have just loved being in like those meetings back then.
And you know what's funny? They had a chance because they had a good relationship with this Japanese company where they got the chips from. But what's his name? The guy that from America, from Sega. God damn it! I'm gonna have to look his name up. But he was the one who was got Sega where it was in America because Genesis was nothing. Like the Master System or whatever only sold like 9 million units, and he started really marketing it heavy. They hired him, and he got the ball rolling in America, and they were just off to the races, and they stopped listening to him, and shit went downhill, man. And he was talking about he wanted to use this other chip. It would have been more cost efficient and more powerful. And that chip, he couldn't convince Japan to use it because they had a relationship with this other company. That was a chip that was in the N64.
Yeah, there were so many things that went wrong with Sega at the time. It wasn't just one or two things, but that was the perfect. They had an opportunity to really take over, especially taking customers from Nintendo. Like they just fucked that up so damn bad. They didn't want to get past the 2D shit. They were fucking so in love with the success of the Sega Genesis that they just didn't want to move on, and that costed them so much money. And another thing that really I think the biggest thing that fucked Sega out of everything was just the deals that they made with retailers. They had this fucking dumbass fucking system where the manufacturer would buy back whatever the retailers couldn't sell. So in the first year of the console, they would sell a shit ton, but then when the sales slow down, Target or Walmart, Circuit City, all these places would make Sega buy the shit back. And that's where they took huge hits because now you're fucking digging into your own money to pay for the expense of taking all that shit back. And I just think that hurt them a lot.
At one time, they had like 200,000 Sega Saturns in stock for like 6 months, and I don't remember how many millions of games, and they had to eat all that because no one was buying the shit.
Oh, bro, it was I know the number.
It was Tom Kalinske, though, but they kept going away from it. He's the one who brought Sega to what they were, and they stopped listening to him, and that was it. And they kept focused on, they kept wanting new iterations of hardware. Like, I couldn't even keep up. I didn't even know what the hell you were supposed to get for a Sega. You had the Genesis, and then the 32X, and then the fuck was that other add-on? All these goddamn add-ons and shit
CD?
like that. Sega CD, yeah. And then I had a Game Gear, then a Nomad. It was like, damn, the Game Gear just came out like last year. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, also too. Well, the numbers was, the number was 500,000 consoles. Then they had over 1 million games, that they were just sitting in their warehouses, just rotting away. And it wasn't until they parted out all the fucking chips from the Sega console and they made that, what's that fucking bullshit they had, where you draw pictures and shit?
I forget what the hell that thing is. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, they basically repurposed those chips. And another thing too, I'll think of the name. It's like Soku or something like that. Well, they repurposed it, and now they were giving retailers 20%. That's how much they can make. So now you have retailers that have an incentive to sell this freaking little art thingy made by Sega, more incentives to sell than the actual console itself. So it's like, dude, you guys, they should have taken a hit on console right away, like everybody did and everybody has done. Focus on the software and start working as soon as possible on a 3D console and focus on that, which is kind of what they did with the Dreamcast, but it was too late.
Well, with the Saturn, they wanted to get to market as soon as possible, and because of that, they rushed it and they fucking spun it all together, and that blew up the price, and they couldn't compete because they had an underpowered machine for $100 more. And if they would have just been more patient, because this Genesis still had a lot of life in it, PlayStation didn't really start hitting until like 97.
Yeah.
If they would have just waited and used that, it was Silicon Graphics that made the N64 card. If they would have listened to Tom Kalinske, the 64 released at like 250 or something like that. They could have released in 95 or 96 with a better card at a lower price, and because they had good software, that wasn't their problem.
Well, too, the RPG says marketing is key, and he's absolutely right, because on one of the final,
all the marketing, that's why they blew up in the United States.
Well, on one of the final years of or let me take that back. When they were going to release the Dreamcast, they budgeted $50 to $80 million for development of the console, $100 million for software, and $300 million for marketing, which did really, really well for the Dreamcast. But on the last couple years of the, not the Genesis, the one before the Dreamcast,
Saturn.
The Saturn, they had cut budgeting for marketing down to like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 million. So they were just making a lot of bad decisions in that generation, and that hurt them in the future. And if they just would have started with that Dreamcast, which, by the way, they were also short with the chip shortage, was real for them too. He wanted to have 500,000 consoles ready within the first, or by release date. They only had 150K, so the demand was really high, and they couldn't maximize on the Dreamcast either. So it was just a lot of things that fucked up the Dreamcast. And one question that I was asking, and I'll ask you this, Nelson, what
was the Dreamcast was when it released, about was it late 98 or something like that, everyone had just gotten a PlayStation in the last like year or two, so they weren't looking to upgrade already, because I mean that's what they blew up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they were still their goal was 1 million consoles sold by March, and this released in November. They were at 900,000, so they weren't very far. So my question to you is, what could you, if you were CEO of Sega America and you knew everything that was going to happen, what would you have done different?
I would have told everyone to shut up and listen to Tom.
True.
I've listened to about 40 Sega documentaries, and they all say the same thing. They stopped listening to Tom, and he's the one who brought them from neck and neck with Nintendo from being almost irrelevant. And once they started doing that, yeah. I mean, if they would have gone with Silicon Graphics, they could have came in at the same price or maybe even lower than PlayStation and had a more powerful console, but they had to put it out right now. Genesis was still doing fine. It's not like everyone ran out when the PS4 came out or PS1 came out and bought a PS1. It took a few years.
Yeah. And you know what else it comes down to, man? Exclusives. By then, third party was really not fucking with Sega. I mean, some of them came back for the Dreamcast era, but it just wasn't enough. They had problems with making enough. Then it wasn't powerful enough to what everybody else was doing. They had some very cool concepts in there. The whole online thing, the first of its kind, really. They just had so many things going for it, man, and it sucks. And then you have competition coming into the industry with Xbox coming in that in 2001, I believe it was.
Yep.
And the rest is history. But the same thing, and well, the reason I bring up Sega, well, one, because I love retro fucking games. I love video game history. I love everything video games. Is because we're seeing some of the same mistakes Sega made with Xbox. I mean, almost identical. Some of the same mistakes that Sega did back in the 90s, Xbox is making now.
Yeah, now they're gonna try and race out and throw some handhelds and all this other bullshit ahead of the competition, and it ain't gonna be up to par. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you see these fucking dumbasses online talking about Xbox needs a fucking handheld. What Xbox needs is some fucking games. And I asked Nelson,
you're gonna release a handheld after the Switch 2 comes out? Nintendo's everybody's side bitch.
Yeah.
Everybody. That's their job. Back when like PS1 came around, 64 only sold like 33 million units. They were getting their ass kicked. It kept them alive. Game Boy, and other than the Wii, which, let's be honest, people bought the Wii, and then 90% of people never bought another game on it. They played fucking Wii Sports when they had friends over getting drunk. I think I was over at 12 people's houses before I even knew it had other software.
Remember that when Nintendo at the time, they released Pokemon Red and Blue, Pokemon Snap, like they dropped like 5-6 Pokemon games in the same fucking year, and that really propelled Nintendo to the next level. But what was it? Software. And I asked Nelson the question, what would he have done different if he knew what he knew today? And he said, just do what Tom said. And Tom, he knew what the deal was. What I would have done for Sega, and what I
never stopped listening to someone who got me to where we are today.
Where we are today.
We're neck and neck with Nintendo. Nintendo owned 90% of the market. Now they had like 43% at the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, so the same thing I would have done for Sega is the same thing I would do for Xbox now. So, Dear Phil, I already did a Dear PlayStation video. If you haven't seen that, please go check it out. It's a pretty good video. I got William Aguilar's post. But, Dear Phil, I'm going to tell you how to fix your fucking company right now. Right fucking now, I'm going to tell you how to fix Xbox. Real fucking simple. All resources, pull them in. Stop every single project you're fucking doing right now. I don't give a fuck if Indiana Jones is due to come out in December. I don't give a fuck if Disney says, hey, if you don't release this game by December, we're going to fine you. I don't give a fuck. Stop working on every fucking thing. Still pay your employees. Still keep the lights on. Still do all those things. This is going to cost you money, but it's going to save your company in the long run. Stop with everything. Next, you're going to consolidate, meaning Team A is working on this game. Team B is working on game B. Fuck that. You're going to pull them in. You're going to take a look at all the games you have going right now, and you're going to pick 3 games that have the most potential. When you find those 3 games, you're going to have every fucking single developer working for you make those 3 games the best games they have ever made in their fucking lives. If you have to start from scratch, and that's what the fuck you're going to do. And you're going to do that for the next 3 to 4 years. The point is, you're going to release 1 to 2 games per year that are bangers. You do that, you will fix your fucking company. But instead, you're doing the complete opposite. You're doing fucking bullshit, little quick tricks to try to get ahead, and it's never going to work because games is what sells hardware. Nelson, do you disagree with me?
No, but that's kind of been the problem with Xbox since day one. They've never thought about the software. It was always an angle, TV or multimedia, or now it's a subscription. They always want to do something different. They don't want to do it the old-fashioned way. They want to change things, not.
And Henry's right.
They've always been that way.
Henry's right. Also, full support from PC. No more day one games. Absolutely. No more day one games for PC.
You guys can't get any of your day one games to work on anything anyways.
Yep. Pull all that shit. And in my Dear PlayStation video, I said that, well, William said, I just agreed, that Sony should pull the 1 year thing, 1 year games then go to PC, and just move it to a whole console generation. And I agree so hard with that because PC dudes are proud in saying that they don't mind waiting. GTA 6, they'll wait because console is scum, right? Console is beneath them. So make them wait a fucking generation. I don't understand why the fuck this whole going to PC within the first year is such an important thing to you guys. Like, I don't get it. The juice has not been fully squeezed from the orange that we call the video game industry. There is still a lot of growth, and we saw that. We saw that during COVID. We saw that during 2020. So why the fuck aren't we focusing more on the console, more on exclusives, more on timelines, getting these games out quicker? I don't know.
That's because they're more worried about putting it on. How many devices can we put it on? Well, that makes things harder.
Way
you
harder.
ain't very good at this shit in the first place, and now you want to make things more complicated.
And the quality suffers so damn much. I mean, look, tomorrow Starfield DLC drops. First off, who drops it on a fucking Monday? You should have just dropped it on Friday. But secondly, have you seen anything about it online? Any promotion? Any fucking bots talking about it? I haven't. And I'm online on social media all the damn time. But that's where you're going to continue to get, no matter how much work you guys do, basically no matter what games you put out, you've lost it, bro. You've lost it. I don't know what else to tell you. Iron Man is the only one I've seen talking about it.
Wait, what comes out tomorrow?
The Starfield DLC.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The 30th.
I had no idea.
Yep, stop putting your first party shit in the day sub. I agreed, RPG. All these things. But what I was talking about earlier with Nelson. All right, so Nelson, congratulations to Nelson. He secured a PS5 Pro. He got it day one, even though it was frustrating for him to finally get it. I just checked before the podcast today, so around 7:30 this evening, Central Standard Time. The PS5 Pro is still available. I don't think it'll sell out. Me and Nelson both agree that they'll do less than 10 million sales. I think they'll do less percentage as far as the whatever their goal is. So if they have at 15-20% of sales for the Pro, I think they'll do half of that, so less than 10%. But congratulations to Nelson, RPG. I think Henry also secured a Pro. So congratulations to you guys. I myself got the PS5 Slim 30th year anniversary edition, which I'm excited for. And I also got a PS5 DualSense controller 30-year anniversary. But that shit was a clusterfuck, man. Trying to buy the Pro, trying to secure one, that was a pain in the ass. Nelson, why didn't you just wait for the Pro to go live like on Best Buy or something like that?
Well, because I'm gonna be gone, and I would have had to go pick it up because that's deer hunting. So
Yeah, a lot of people just wanted to get it right away. If I
plus
was
with my
interested,
schedule, when would I pick it up? You know what I mean?
when do you get that PS5? Will same day as a Pro, guys? No, the Pro comes out November 7th. The Pro 30-year anniversary and the regular 30-year anniversary comes out November 21st. So if you were one of the lucky few that got the Pro bundle 30-year anniversary, you won't see that bad boy till November 21st. Which doesn't fucking matter, honestly. This Pro could have came out next year anyways, because there ain't no fucking games. I mean, the only game that was new that was coming out was Assassin's Creed Shadows, and that got pushed till fucking February. So yeah, you'll get the Pro and all the benefits, and you'll be playing the same fucking games you've been playing this whole time already. What are you gonna be playing on your Pro, Nelson?
My library.
Whatever you have in your library. Well,
But
remember,
I want to get it day one because the way I look at it is the faster I get it, the more use I'll get out of it. You know what I mean? Like if I wait around, you know what I mean? That's less time I'll actually use it. So plus I'll have it for like 8 years because I'll trade in the PS5 when the PS6 comes out, and the kids will get the Pro just like we did last time.
yeah, no, not me. I don't. I mean, I'm not saying I'm never gonna buy a Pro, but as of right now, I don't see the value to the Pro. I just think they're charging too much for what it can do. Now, I'm not saying that's a PlayStation problem. It's just where the technology is, but the price is just too much for me. And before somebody says, "Oh, broke boy," because I already been called that. No, I'm not broke. I can fucking buy one. I just don't see the fucking value.
Will
And
has more in fucking handheld software than the Pro costs.
bro, I got called a brokey in one of my videos. I'm like, okay, dude, whatever. But I just don't see the value, man. And honestly, me and PlayStation are only about $100 off. The real thing uh that really pissed me off is that this is supposed to be a premium item, but yet there's no stand, there's no disk drive. This is the first time in our history that we get a console with no disk drive. I'm like, how are you calling this the premium item, but yet it's lacking on so many fucking features that normally come with it? In the bundle, they give you a stand, they give you a DualSense Edge, they give you a whole bunch of shit. They're actually losing money on that fucking bundle. So why the fuck can you do the same thing? And then you want to make it very clear that stand is sold separately. I just don't like that shit. Even with the PS5 bundle that I got, the 30th anniversary, I'm getting the PS5, I'm getting the stand, I'm getting a controller, and I'm getting the cool charging cables and all that. Like they could have done way more than what they did for that Pro. So that's the main reason why I don't want to buy it. The second reason is I just don't think that the upgrade is worth the money. Alright, and the other thing...
I bought a One X to the PS4 Pro, and now I'll be honest, because I was gonna buy a Series X when it first came out, but I overslept, and I'm glad I did because when it became available, I started watching the shows. And like, man, a lot of these games that I'm looking at that I want to play, I don't think they're gonna be out really soon. I'll just get their mid-gen. I'm still waiting on those games.
Oh yeah, fucking Xbox ain't got shit, and they're releasing their console in November as well, which is the same thing as the Series S, except it's gonna have 2 terabyte storage and it's gonna be all digital. So that's another one that's taking something away from you for upgrading. Yeah, they're giving you more fucking storage, but so fucking what? Like, what? I just don't like the fact
their storage is fucking stupid expensive.
Oh, it's very expensive. That's why the bots say it's a great deal, because they're used to paying $350 for a fucking 1 terabyte fucking card.
Gen 2 fucking memory.
Absolutely.
You know how slow that shit is when it first came out. I looked at the speeds and stuff like that. Non-proprietary, and think about it, they were like, our SSDs were like $300-400 for 1 terabyte back then. Theirs, because it was so slow, they're like $80.
Yeah, super cheap. Super duper cheap. Even now, I mean, I just saw a 2 terabyte, I forget the brand, but it's like $120 for the PS5. cheap, and the price goes down every single year. Uh, what was the other thing? Oh, last topic I want to get into, the PS5 or the PlayStation State of Play. Have you said anything about it publicly, Nelson? Like on a
No,
podcast?
I love state of plays and stuff like that. I'm never disappointed because I always find something I like. The problem I have with it is it was a state of play.
Mm.
I'm
You
starting
wanted
to
a
feel like
show.
an Xbox fan. Wait for fucking December. Wait for fucking E3. Wait for fucking. I'm tired of fucking waiting. I'm not. I'm not born a bot. I don't have that kind of patience.
Well, have you seen the rumors that PlayStation is basically done with showcases and now it's just gonna be nothing but state of plays?
Yeah.
I don't like it. But Warwana made a video
Yeah, I
about
agree.
state
I
of
agree with
plays.
them, but I still.
I don't. I
That's
disagree.
what. But for people like you who are like, well, I don't want to buy this thing because I don't know what the hell I'm buying it for. Some
Yeah.
people are like that. I know things will come, and I know I'm going to use it, and all games will be supported. But the problem is, they don't have to sell it to me. I already want it. But people who are on the fence, you're not selling it to them. You're not convincing them.
What up, Hero? How you doing, man? Thanks for stopping through. Yeah, no, well, that was my biggest complaint. It's like, okay, you're taking away the disc drive from me. You're making me pay for it extra. FYI, for you guys that don't know, it's $700 for the Pro. Then I got to spend another $80 on the disc drive. Then I got to spend another $30 on the fucking stand. I'm at $809 before taxes. 809. I already platinum Horizon Forbidden West. I already platinum Spider-Man. Like, I'm not gonna go back to those games until they drop additional content for Forbidden West. They're done, I think, right? Because they did one DLC for the first game and one DLC for the second game. I wish it would drop more. I love Forbidden West or Horizon. It's one of my favorite IPs. I'm waiting for the Spider-Man 2 DLC. Which when do you think that'll come out, Nelson?
I don't know if they're going to do DLC because fuck, last time they had like all three of them out by now.
True.
I think they might have just went to work and did Venom, and we might know about that. I don't know, early next year or something.
True.
I think they might have done that instead.
I think you're right. I think you're right because we haven't heard anything. I mean, people are saying the Venom DLC, but I'm like, why turn
I
that
don't
into
think
a
it'll
DLC?
be a DLC. I think it'll be a Miles Morales.
Exactly.
With the time it is, it'll be just a shorter game for like $50.
Well, with how fast Insomniac works, fuck yeah, I would do the same exact thing. Fucking milk them. But this state of play, I gave it a B plus. The main reason I gave it a B plus is because I saw VR in there, and the VRs that I saw are games that I want to play. Aliens, Metro. Oh my goodness, I'm so ready for Metro. And also from some of the creators of Little Nightmares, that game also looks interesting, which you can play on PSVR 2 or on your regular PS5, which I think is an option that most VR games should have. But that's what reason I gave it a B plus was because it showed me VR and it showed me some games, and then of course Ghost of Yote, which we'll get into in a little bit. But the biggest thing that I like about the state of play, believe it or not, it's not even gaming related. It's the layout. They gave us time for PSVR. They gave us time for what's gonna be coming to PS Plus, which not Turok. What was the game that I was telling you about where you shoot the dinosaurs?
Dino Crisis.
Dino Crisis. I've never played, so I'm excited to play that. So they gave us
I've beaten that game like 20 times.
They gave us what's gonna happen on PS Plus. They dropped the PS Plus day and date, right? They gave us what was it? I forgot. Last
remake.
of Us remake. Then they talked about some hardware stuff, right? They talked about the PS5 Pro a little bit. They talked about the new colors, which I've been saying they should fucking have. Exactly, RPG. They gave me new plates to buy. They came out with the Fortnite Special Edition controller, which I'm gonna get just because it's Special Edition. And then they gave us one more thing at the end, which is Ghost of Yote. Now, a lot of you guys are probably going to be pissed off. But Hero, you missed the beginning of the podcast. I recommend you check it out. Like I told you guys in the beginning of the podcast, me and Nelson are doing this podcast because we want to talk about gaming and we love gaming. We're not here to censor ourselves. We're not here to walk on eggshells. We're not here to talk about what we think people may like, right? Just like when you guys say stuff that I don't agree with, I'm still your friend because you're a good person. You game. You're a real gamer. All right. But Ghost of Yotei, I'm not happy with. I am not happy with Ghost of Yotei. And before I tell you why, Nelson, are you happy with Ghost of Yotei?
The game looks good, but I'm not too happy about the fucking social justice warrior hirings and all that. It's like, bro, just make a game. I mean, look at fucking Wukong. Those guys probably that made it are fucking communists. But you know what? I can't tell that from the game. That's how I like it.
Yeah.
Laura Croft might be a lesbian. I don't know, and I like that because it would fuck up my imagination.
Hero, I am happy with Anthology. Well, let me explain the reason that I don't like it and what has me excited. So when I say I don't like Ghost of Yotei, what I mean is I am cautiously optimistic about the game, right? Because I do love the idea of an anthology series, but we don't know if that's what's going to happen. People say that Ghost of Tsushima, the story is done, is wrapped up. In my opinion, no, the fuck it's not. Jin just became the ghost. So there's a lot more story to tell. What happens when the Mongols invade?
Ronin. What happens after that?
Yeah, the Mongols invading the mainland, the Emperor defending the mainland against, the Mongols and the weather, how that affected. Because in history, there was like a category, whatever hurricane. Like there's just so much of the story to be told, right? Now, I'm not against Ghost of Yotei. I'm just disappointed that that's the direction they went to right away. Now, ideally, what I would like to see is Ghost of Yotei. I want to see that. I want to see Ghost of whatever, meaning that they take the Ghost legend and they spawn that off into numerous games. Meaning, if you're a person in, I don't know, Brazil, and there's a revolution, and you hear about the Ghost legend, you yourself become a Ghost of Brazil, and then you go out here and you do your thing, right? Where you're part of the social structure, and all of a sudden you go against it and you become the Ghost. Or the Ghost of America, right? Or the Ghost of the UK, the Ghost of Australia, whatever. I think that's an awesome idea. That's a very cool idea. But let's not forget about our boy Jin. And some people say, well, Ghost of Tsushima, what are they going to do with Tsushima? We already saw it. You know, it's going to be hard to make a Tsushima Part 2.
I have questions.
The game doesn't have to be in Tsushima. It can be in mainland Japan. Japan is a pretty big country. Like, there's just so many things. Are you here to tell me that they don't have the imagination to figure something out? Like, this is what they do for a living. Now, the biggest gripe that I have with Ghost of Yotei, besides what I just said, is I'm tired of the video game industry hiring these woke voice actors to be in the games, and not just any woke voice actor or actress.
They hire them for director spots and stuff too.
Yes, they hire the most vocal, the most out there. Just like I don't want somebody who's a conservative, who's constantly preaching this shit. Like, bro, do that on your own time. Just tell me what your project is. You're a voice actor. You're going to be working on this game. Tell me what your projects is, what projects you have done, and what we can look forward to. Like, I get it. You're more than just your job. But at the same time, your job has to deal with people of all sorts of backgrounds, race, religion, beliefs. How are you going to alienate the majority, right? Because if you're part of one sector of belief, there's a million other types. So you're alienating so many other people, not because of your beliefs themselves, but because of the way that you're pushing it. And people are like, oh, Will, you're talking shit. Oh, yeah. What about, let's look at Chris Pratt. He's a Christian. He promotes Christianity. And look at Chris Pratt and what they did to him. They attack him nonstop. Oh, you can't be praying while you're accepting an award. Oh, you can't say Jesus. You can't do that. It's the same thing. It goes both ways. And obviously, we haven't seen enough of Ghost of Yotei to make a conclusion. So I'm not. As of right now, based on what I saw, I will be buying the game. I will be pre-ordering it. I will be buying it day one. I am just not happy with them throwing Jin away for this game. Now, if a year from now in 2026 they come out with Ghost of Tsushima Part 2 or Ghost of Mainland Japan and Jin's there, great, awesome. But I don't know if that's what we'll get. If in a couple years we get Ghost of, I don't know, of France, okay, that'd be awesome too. But I don't know if an anthology series is what they're really going for. I hope it is, but that is something that people have been conspiring about. It's conspiracy theories. We don't know anything about that. But as of right now, I will be getting Ghost of Yotei. Now, of course, if they release more information and I like it, well, the want to buy it is going to increase. Or if they release more information that turns me off, then that's what's going to happen. But I am able to want something and also give my complaints and gripes about the things I don't like. That is okay. We all do this. I'm not hating against Ghost of Yotei. I don't even care that she's a woman. As a matter of fact, I like playing as women in a lot of video games. I know some of my friends don't like playing as women. I don't care. I like playing women because I like to look at them and stare at them. All that, like, she's hot, she's beautiful, whatever. I don't mind it. I like playing as a woman. So that's not the reason at all. And before somebody comes, oh, you're sexist. No, the fuck I'm not. They actually made the voice actress look way better in the fucking video game than she is in real life. Ain't that a bitch? Usually we see the fucking opposite. They make these motherfuckers ugly. But before I continue, I'll pass it back to you, Nelson. Let me see. Let me catch up with the chat. Everyone at work gradually introduces diverse people, but actually never talk about it or even try to replace my white peers in anything. Yeah, absolutely, Hero. I agree, man. RPG. I think this new Ghost chick is gonna be a badass. I hope she is too. And I'm not saying I don't think she's not gonna be. I think she is gonna be a badass. I mean, the dual swords, the fucking the rifle. Like, they're adding new mechanics. Like, I'm excited for that. I'm just a little disappointed that it's not Jin because I feel like Jin's story is not complete yet. Henry, there always has been and will be activists working in games, things these days with the internet. We're all privy to what these individuals do and what they say in their spare time. I agree as well.
There always has been, but they didn't hire them just because of that.
Just because, well, we don't know that's the case with Ghost of Yotei, right? We don't know that. I mean, we are guessing that's probably the case because the director is a fucking woke idiot too.
You can look at the jobs listing, what they're looking for at most companies.
That's true too. But the thing with the woke people, like, I really don't give a fuck if they're working in a game or not. I really don't. What I don't like is when they start shaming others who don't believe what they believe. Just like if it was a Christian or a conservative, it's the same thing. If you're shaming people, then dude, what are you doing? Like, you're selling a product here. Like, you should be not being more open, but just stick to the project itself. Don't let your personal bias get in the way. And we all say this shit to ourselves, right? Don't let the emotions get a hold of you when you're doing business or when you're at work. Like, how many times has a customer walked in and pissed you the fuck off and you just like, you know what? I'm at work. I got to keep my cool. It's the same fucking shit. What's the next one? Mr. Righteous, what's up, bro? Thanks for coming in, man. Hero Down Under. Neil Druckmann made the mistake of being public. Neil not only made the mistake of doing that, but also a thing with Neil is he wanted people to hate his fucking game. He wanted that shit to happen. Neil's of the thinking that bad publicity is good publicity, which, I mean, it is true, but it wasn't like he released the game and people hated some of the things in there and some people loved it. No, he did it with the purpose in mind that he wants people to hate it. Who the fuck does that? Even with this podcast and even with my introduction, when I said we're here to speak our minds, we don't give a fuck about censoring ourselves, we're going to say whatever the fuck we want to say. I still want people to fucking enjoy themselves and have a good time at the podcast. RPG, Jin, we slowly had to turn him into a cutthroat. I think we get that off the bat with a chick. Once again, RPG, it's not that she's a woman. I'm excited to play as her. I'm just not happy with the voice actress being the fucking loud activist that she is with fucking people cutting off their genitals. That's it. Sucker Punch, need to tread carefully, but I'm sold on the game. I'm sold on the game too. Like I said, the more information comes out, I'm either going to be even more sold or I'm going to be backing off. But as of right now, with what I've seen, I am so there day one. Henry, if this joint comes out and it isn't as good as Ghost of Tsushima 1, then I'll be pissed and be like, You left Jin behind for this. At that point, we will cook. That's a fact. Neil wanted to make his name bigger than the game, so he spoke out. She had better be Jin's defendant. I also sent a pic inside of the Discord of the games she's worked on before. Thank you, Henry. Let's take a look at that. So she has worked on. She was June in Guild War 2. I've never played that game. Lumu, Halo Infinite. So Lumu for Halo Infinite, she said like maybe 2 lines in that. Martha, River City Girls, Madame Curry, Marvel Avengers, Valkyrie, Apex Legends, Brienne, Psychonauts 2, Anna Bray, Destiny 2, Atsu, Ghost of Yote. So yeah, none of these are really big. I haven't played Psychonauts 2. I don't really play Apex. But just based on Halo Infinite, yeah, these aren't really big, like, characters that she's playing. Well, I didn't look into it specifically RPG, but it got started to get shared out on social media, and that's when I noticed it. And then I started looking at the shit that they were posting, and yeah, she's let's just say she's a wild one. Nelson, anything else you got to say about Ghost of Yote? Oh, maybe Nelson stepped away. Maybe he had to go take a shit. But yeah, man, Ghost of Yote. I'm looking forward to the game. What I saw is exciting to me. I'm just disappointed that Jin is not there. You back, Nelson?
Yeah.
Anything else you have to add on to that shit?
I just can't imagine being a developer today, and when you're hiring all these people just because of DEI or whatever, and they're going through my work and being like, oh, we got to add this.
Yeah.